Okay, welcome back. It's Zachary here with Backyard DIY again. This time we're going to be doing the transmission filter that I've been saying I'm going to do for a long time now. So, here's the transmission filter, and I'll write the part number in the description. The transmission filter, it's right here, and that's what it looks like. And then also I'll show you in the video, it took me a couple different part stores that told me that there was no such thing, but this truck has a second transmission filter and it's critical that you replace it. But here's the part number so you don't have to have people tell you they don't have it. But the Ford number is the FT145, and then the other number is where you can get it just through like a generic AutoZone or whatever. But the second filter, if your vehicle has it, it's right underneath your radiator on the passenger side, and I'll show you that later. But this one is very fine ports and holes, so this one will clog up even faster than your standard transmission would, or filter. So this one's very critical to do. Looks like a toilet paper roll, but and then I had to buy the gasket for the transmission pan separate, and here's the part number for that. So I'll write that one in the description as well. But I'm going to climb underneath there and we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and drain the pan and then take the pan off. So stay with us. Okay, underneath the truck here, the drain plug is going to be a 1/2 inch, and then the pan bolts are going to be 10 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and let it drain for a while first. I'm sure it's going to take a while. And again, that shouldn't be on too hard. Once you first break it loose, it should be finger tight for the rest of the way. If it's not, then it's cross threading. There we go. And it's a good tip to drive this before you do this, because the fluid's really thick. So we've been driving this all day, so the temperature is about 100 degrees is what it was showing on the gauge. So we'll go ahead and let that drain, and then we'll come back to you with the next step. Okay, the draining stopped, so or really slowed down, so we just put the plug back in, and then Erica's going to undo all the bolts, 10 millimeter bolts all the way around. And it looks like there's only 2 that'll be a pain in the butt to get to, but we'll be able to get to it no problem because of the cross member, but we'll be able to get to it. So we're going to take this all off. We'll come back to you once we drop the pan. Okay, got all the bolts out, and for these 3 back here, sorry, let me flip the camera over. Those 3, because of the cross member, you need a small 10 millimeter. The rest of them I used a deep well, but there's no reason to. You could use a small on all of them. Anyway, when I go ahead and start to take it off, I leave 2 on there so the pan can't fall. But 2 of them have a gap, so I can start to see it's already starting to come down. So I'm going to take those 2 and drop the pan. Yep. So there's the bottom of it. All the goodies on an automatic transmission. The filter is what we're after here. So you just grab it, twist a little bit, and pull down. You don't want to get too rough with it because all these solenoids in there. Alright, and then And then since the O-ring didn't come out with the filter, right here on the end, you'd see a plastic O-ring. But since that didn't come out with it, that means it's up in there, so we got either a screwdriver or I have actual picks. So I'm going to slide a pick up in there and fish that old O-ring out. If you don't get that out, you're not going to get a good seal. So I'm going to get a pick and I'll be right back. You stop that if you want. And zoom in.
Go ahead. That's okay.
Okay, so got a pick here. We're going to take the old one out. And there it is. If you don't have a pick, like I said, you can use a screwdriver. It just makes it a little easier, but there's the old one. So you got your new filter here with the O-ring already on it in place. You want to get it lubricated just like every other gasket, or ring. So go ahead and slide some of transmission fluid on that. And then the same as you do for taking it out, you just line it up and push it in. And it's a tight fit, so you're going to put some force into it. And there it goes. That's where it stops. All done with that, I'm going to clean up the pan and put gasket back on, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I way overdo everything, and it says right on the pan that it's a reusable gasket. If you look at that on the other underside, it says that it's a reusable gasket, but I'm just going to change it. I already bought it not knowing it was reusable, and my theory is it'll last longer, so I'm going to replace it. You want to clean your magnet here, the bottom of your pan. It's what catches all your metal shavings and stuff. You want to check and make sure there's no obvious huge pieces on it, but a little bit of metal is fine. You're going to get it on any vehicle, even brand new. So just inspect that, clean around the drain hole, brake cleaner or carb cleaner, whatever you need to get it clean, and then just gently put it back down so it doesn't break. And then I'm going to put gasket sealer on it as well. Alright, so that's good enough for me. So we're going to climb back underneath the truck and put this back on. Alright, line it back up. And just start putting the bolts back in. Okay, so here's the secondary filter. When I went to go get the filter, like I said, everyone was telling me that there's not a secondary on there. There clearly is. So this is right behind your radiator. As you see, my crankshaft right there, fan belt, shroud, everything, radiator. Anyways, it's right there. If you have this on the passenger side, if you have this, you should change that filter as well. I don't know what the intervals are, but go ahead and look in your manual. I'm sure it's in there, but I'm going to change it because this truck is new to me. So it says right on the nut 22 millimeters. So I got a 22 millimeter here. We're going to see if we can get it off.
Trying to get a good angle here.
Ow. It came free.
Well, she did.
Alright. Would it be easier if you go over top of the axle and lay it right on top of the axle?
Maybe.
Yeah. Is that better?
Maybe.
I don't know how much this is going to leak out.
I don't know either. Yeah, that's not better at all. Alright, let's go back over here. I don't know either. Alright, I can see it right here.
Alright. We're just going to hope it doesn't let a lot out.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Let me back up just in case.
Alright. Yummy.
Does it look really gross?
Right there?
Where?
Underneath your elbow.
Oh, yep. Here.
What'd you say?
I said, does it look gross?
No, it looks good. Oh, there we go.
Oop.
There was some in it.
Got a little. Oop. Ugh. Yep, there's some more. Oh, it definitely doesn't look like what we are putting back into it.
Yep, there it is. Nice and black.
It is pitch black. It's really hard to tell because the light there, but
We'll get the light out. We'll go look at it.
pitch black.
We'll go look at it on the bench.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the old one. You see, squeeze it and all the nasty metal. You can see metal shavings in that.
Yeah.
So this has been in there for too long, I'm gonna guess.
I'm gonna guess it's never been changed.
So here's a spring thing. Spring I dropped in the dirt. So spray that. Clean that off. There you go. I'll have dirt out of it. And on that side. So anyway, here's the new one. Here's a new one. This was just pushed into the end of it. And then this was just sitting inside that. I'm sorry, this was up into the truck.
Sorry.
Up into the truck in that configuration up. And the spring was on the bottom. So the spring is going to rest down in there. There's a little spot for it to sit. So something like that. But you put it on the truck side first. So we're going to get back underneath there. And there's an O-ring on the truck. I'm going to get that wet with transmission fluid. And then we're going to put it all back together. And then fill it up. Put this truck back to work. Okay, there's the mount where it goes. The light's a little too bright. There we go. There's the mount where it goes. And you just push the hole on the end of, I call it the toilet paper roll, up on it. And just make sure it's seated in there good. And it is. And then there's an O-ring around the casing. You just want to make sure that that's still wet, which it is. And then slide this up. Try to get that spring right in the center. Push up and twist it in. That spring's strong.
Seems like it.
There we go.
You were not defeated by the spring.
Right? And again, no torque spec on this one, so since it has an O-ring, I'm not going to go crazy on it, but I'm going to tighten it.
It was fairly tight when I took it off.
That's probably just because it sat there so long.
Yeah, that's very true.
But see, you go. A little bit. There we go. That looks good. But anyway, as you can see, obviously this is for the transmission, even though the lady told me this not, because you got the two lines here that go back to your transmission. There we go, those two lines, they come right into it, right here at the back. And then coming out of it goes to your radiator cooler for your transmission. So anyway, there's the can. I'll put the part number in the description and everything. And we're going to go back topside and fill it up. And then we'll be all done. Okay, so we're all done with the transmission change, filter, and oil, and the secondary oil filter. Make sure you get that done too. That looked really bad on ours.
So bad.
So that's the end of the job here. We put 7.5 quarts back into it. Oh, and then on another note is the Ford sold us Mercron LV as in Lima Victor, and the oil checker says SP as in Sierra Papa. We did research after we realized that when we got home, and they told us that it replaces it, so it's fine to use the LV in the 5-speed.
Correct.
5-speed transmission only, not the 6-speed.
They said it's not compatible with the 6-speed and that it can cause major transmission issues. So if that's the case, double check and find the correct product for that one.
Yeah, so just make sure you put the right one in yours, and yeah, like, subscribe, and put any comments you like. Let us know if there's anything you liked or anything you'd like us to change.
Sounds great. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
See ya.